Well, the first day of the inaugural regional meeting has now ended. Lloyd Allen continues our coverage from the Bahama Resort with this wrap-up. Good evening, Lloyd. What can you tell us?
Carey's Fabrics and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school. Find ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for all schools in the Bahamas. Carey's also sells skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boys' shorts, and pants. You can even have your uniform skirts custom made. Also find school bags, school supplies, socks, and underwear. That's Carey's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Call 393-0758.
Well, of course, good evening, Desmond, and good evening, Bahamas. Well, it's an intensive day. Many ideas discussed from these regional partners. And joining us today is Dr. Rochelle Newbold. She is the Special Advisor on Climate Change and Environmental Matters and Director of Sustainable Development Goals Unit within the Office of the Prime Minister. Of course, Dr. Newbold, it's been an exciting day, a step forward. What can you tell us about what happened today?
Well, today was definitely an historical moment. This is the first meeting that the Caribbean region has been unified in its attempt to prepare itself to go into COP27 negotiations. But we found, as we always knew, that we have common issues as it relates to loss and damage, finance situations, as well as damage associated with hurricanes. And how do we, as small island states with tourism as our major contributor, how do we deal with this? And how do we get our partners to understand that they need to act, and they need to act more involved and be more aware of the fact that we need their support in addressing the issues of global climate change?
Now, of course, again, some of those major ideas discussed today were mitigation, as well as living in environments like the Bahamas. Sustainable development is your area of focus. And so, again, you sat in on many of those meetings today. Talk to us about what many of our partners shared and what were some of the highlights.
Well, I think we've beaten the horse to death about mitigation and adaptation and technology. But what we need to do is assess for the region what makes sense. What makes sense for us, what makes sense for our population, what can we really do to achieve what is necessary, bringing down the cost of living, ensuring that we are protected against hurricane events, ensuring that we have food security, energy security. These are the key things. And as we meet today as agents and representatives within the region, we also need to make sure that we come up with a unified plan, and that plan we need to put into action.
Now, of course, day one is concluded. Day two, talk to us about what you expect to unfold tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow we expect that we will even advance even further with specific examples. I mean, some of the things that came out today, we will need to determine how we would go ahead and implement those things so that we actually have change. No longer a talk shop. We've had 15 years of talking. We need to now take action because, as you can see, the global impacts, fires, hurricanes, flooding, heat, these things are moving forward. The one thing we don't have is time, so we need to identify what we need to do, and we need to do it. Get into this arc, do what we need to do, because the whole globe is changing and we're left outside.
Well, of course, as said by the Prime Minister earlier, the time for action is now. Reporting from the Bahama Resort, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.